The voice of sharing, Durian ASEAN.
Hi, good morning, everybody. This is me, Arlene, starting the day off fresh with my co-host today, Kim Tan.
Hello, good morning, ASEAN.
So how are you guys all there listening to us at Durian ASEAN? So we have a bunch of Southeast Asian news that we would like to report to you this morning. First off is from the Malay Mail Online. The title was Under Fire, Selangor asks AG to order to return of seized Bible. So this is an ongoing issue that has been happening in Malaysia for quite some time.
Yeah.
It's about a few Bibles in the Malay language as well as in the Iban language. It was being seized by the authorities, and this Bible belonged to the Bible Society of Malaysia, BSM. It happened 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And the Attorney General Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Patil actually ordered the release of the Malay and Iban.
It's actually the Selangor government. They asked.
Sorry.
Attorney General.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed out on that.
Yeah.
So the Selangor government asked the Attorney General Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Patil to release the 300 Bibles.
Yeah. Actually, all of this happened because of the main issue was actually non-Muslim were not supposed to use the words Allah. The Bible were taken because they wanted to investigate the use of the words Allah inside the Bible itself.
Yeah. And talking about the word Allah, why is it so controversial?
Yeah, it's like I am a non-Muslim, so I am saying the words right now. So am I violating any law right now? Like for me, I think it represents God. Like it's like I think I also can mention Jesus. I also can mention Gautama Buddha. I actually don't think it should be an issue, you know.
And the word Allah is not just one word that is being banned by the authorities. In fact, the Islamic Department of Malaysia, they banned quite a number of words that a non-Muslim cannot use. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, as in like they cannot speak out the word, they have to censor it, or they cannot use it in their own writing, or I don't know how it will work anyway.
Yeah, like in the normal conversation, how are we supposed to address Allah if we were not supposed to say it out?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and interestingly, Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Patil, he should know better about this, the word Allah especially in the Catholic religion. It is because he was actually schooled in a missionary school.
Oh.
Yeah. He was schooled in a Catholic school. So, I don't know, but to me, a lot of prominent Malaysian politicians today, they were schooled in English school at that time, were missionary schools. So it is something that they should familiarize themselves until from now, right?
They should be more tolerant when it comes to this kind of issue, isn't it?
And the word and history origin of the word Allah is actually an Arabic word to refer to God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to the reason why the government is censoring this word or is seizing the Bible, it is because they want to stop the propagation of religion to Muslim.
How could a propagation be done by just saying the words Allah or just like putting it in the Bible?
Yeah, and some of the Bible is only for non-Muslim. I mean for Christians.
Yes. So I don't understand. Like even my friends, which were Muslim, they also think that why is this happening? They themselves they don't think it's a problem for us to mention that words. So I think we have reported a lot of issues like when the religion was taken in politics. So I think it's just a tools for them for the politicians, like to achieve certain agenda, you know. So I don't really think that this is what all the Muslim want.
Yeah. Anyway, this is still an ongoing process. We would like to know whether how this Bible, would it be written back or would it stay within the government's territory? It's up to...
We will see.
We will see. So the next one is reported in the Free Malaysia today is about the Singapore KL high-speed rail. It will be completed by 2020.
Yeah, let's hope for that as well.
So about this high-speed rail, just to give a background on it, it is supposed to connect Kuala Lumpur to Singapore, and because it's high speed, it is supposed to reduce the time traveling between these two cities, as well as to enhance the connectivity. So it's a quite interesting sort of project, I guess. Seems so. And about the high-speed rail, do you think this is something that would benefit Malaysians or Singaporeans?
Certainly it will, but there are a lot of possible things will come up lah, I guess. And then saying that it will be done on 2020, even our Prime Minister Najib Tun Razak said that it's actually very ambitious. But if it was done, I think it can really benefit everyone lah, since we actually takes times to travel to Singapore, right? And then it will create more economical development, I guess, because you can actually travel easily between the two countries.
Yeah.
And it can promote the integration also, the economic integrations among two countries.
So about this discussion, there were 20 cabinet ministers from both Singapore and Malaysia met at a 2-day retreat to review the progress in the bilateral relations and discuss ways to enhance the bilateral cooperations. And this would include the development of Iskandar Malaysia and so on and so forth. And I think in a way it will benefit the economic region between Malaysia and Singapore. Although my reservation, I think, in this case is, what about the people and the existing domestic industry? Would it be affected? And what about the people there? Would they face a higher cost of living? Because now they are getting, more people from Singapore coming there, and they have higher purchasing power compared to Malaysians. So this and the property prices might shoot up.
It will affect it also, because previously, like a lot of Singaporeans, they were buying houses in Johor because it was nearer to them. So now actually they can just live anywhere because there's a high speed rail link which can bring them to anywhere they wanted to.
So in a way, it is also being reported similar news on today's online, where the high speed rail is already considered like something that the government is fully supporting of this. That's the reason why 3 sites has been considered for the high speed rail stations.
Yeah. This is for the Singapore, for the Singapore wise lah. They have decided for the Tuas West and also Jurong East.
Yeah. So, have you been to Singapore, by the way?
Yeah, I've been there twice when I was really young, and then the second time is when 3 years back then. Yeah. Their transport system is actually quite good. Like, everything is quite fast and everybody is working very fast, which I couldn't really keep up with their pace, because I was like, because we wouldn't like that, in Malaysia. I think we are like more relaxed in a way. And even their escalator move very fast. I was thinking, is it my illusions or something? But then, it's real. They said that it was indeed faster than our escalator in Malaysia.
I guess that's the difference between like a more cosmopolitan city, as in their people there are more business centric and focus on the fast pace.
Yeah, every
lifestyle.
second is like money spent.
So, it is a positive development, but at the same time, there are certain reservations that both government need to further explore, how to tackle that. Yeah. So, on the next one is about Vietnam. Vietnam historically is being known as they spend a lot of money, especially taxpayers' money, on extravagant sort of projects. And one of it is previously on the 2003 Southeast Asian Games. is called SEA Games, where they spend a lot on building stadiums and sporting venues.
Yeah.
But then it is not being used.
After that.
Yeah. So in the upcoming ASEAN Games, it's called Asian Games, sorry.
Yeah.
So they think that maybe we should not, be part of this. We should not be the organizer of this.
Yeah. Even though they have already gotten the chance to host it, but then if financially it wasn't really that stable to support them to do so, I really think that maybe it's better for them to not host it. Like, they could do more for their citizens instead of hosting a games. And then there's one statement that made by the former chairman of Vietnam Olympic Committee. His name is Mr. Ha Quang Du. He said that it's not right to say hosting the ASEAN Games is to promote the country's image, because during dozens of years of economic reforms, they have done a number of things to promote the country, and then the world knew about them. And then also, unlike the World Cup, so this is ASEAN Games. I'm not undergrading the ASEAN Games, but it wouldn't have that much of significant impact on attracting international tourists.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. And previously they done quite a number of economic reform where actually it benefited in terms of the branding image of Vietnam.
Yeah.
Having being a host of ASEAN Game itself, it doesn't make any difference to me.
Yeah, I would say sports is important to promote sports. Yes, but seeing how your financial status is, you really have to determine like which one is the better solutions are. But this one they still haven't have the final decision, so let's see what they will have lah. We will look on the upcoming news, see whether
let's just see.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's not just about the branding image, where I think it will not make any difference because the economic reforms has already pushed Vietnam in terms of one of the emerging economies in the world. And another point is, you build all these sports utilities, buildings, areas, but you only use it once. It doesn't serve any permanent use. We witnessed that in the 2003 Southeast Asian Games. So, in terms of, the ASEAN, the Asian Games, it would probably be, a similar cycle as well.
Yeah. It's a waste lah for all the infrastructure that you have built, but you didn't use it.
So, let's just see. Hopefully that, they would have a better focus in terms of how they are going to spend their taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
So now in the news in the country called Cambodia, our neighbor, so the government is threatening Renzi with lawsuit over letter to king. So the background of the story is it's actually quite I'm not sure how to say, is supposedly the opposition leader, Sam Rainsy, he wrote a letter, which was given to the king, Norodom Sihamoni.
Norodom Sihanouk.
Sihanouk, is it?
Yeah, Sihanouk.
Ah, okay.
Because there's a place in Cambodia which is called Sihanoukville.
Ah.
Yeah, in the name of this king.
So, in that sense, supposedly he had disrespect the king in his letter.
Yeah.
So the government, his name is called Han Sen, the prime minister, he said that, we want to charge you for being disrespecting to the king.
Yeah. Actually, it doesn't, they said that actually the problem is that they said that they wanted to charge him, but actually it wasn't a offense in the criminal code. They are like some serious crime like murder of the king, but like for just sending a letter, it's not really, there is no law that actually can charge this Mr. Ranzi. But actually, there will be a next news from Cambodia Daily too. They will be saying that they really find a law which they can charge him, which is wait a while, is Mr. Ramsey have violated the Article 36 of the law on the organization and functioning of the Constitution Councils. So, which pertains to disrespecting decisions passed by the body and carries a prison sentence up to 13 months. I think it's like they just simplifying law and then they just charge it on Mr. Ramsey.
Yeah, and I think his focus was you oppose the Constitutional Council, and I think he's referring that the king is part of the Constitutional Council.
I guess so, but I don't think king should be. I mean, it can still be proven whether or not the accusations of Mr. Ramsey is true or not towards the king. But I think everybody have their freedom of speech. Everybody have their freedom to voice out what they think, and that it is true that the elections that just passed in Cambodia, I don't think it's legitimate. Even the international, like UN, they also think that it's full with frauds. So what Mr. Ramsey was accusing is that here it says that the king had refused on principle to convene parliament after the disputed 2003 national elections. So that he is the king. He was supposed to do his duty, but then this is what Mr. Ramsey think, that he didn't do his duty on like you know that it was a disputed elections, but you didn't do anything for it. So he's like voicing out that he should have done his duty. So I don't think that he should be charged over things that he wanted to.
Yeah, and the fact that his Han Sen gave contradicting statement, contradicting the law itself somehow, it shows that this is a political motivated arrest. It's not something that you did something wrong and I'm going to arrest you. It seems more like I'm going to arrest you no matter what. So I'm going to find a lot by hook or by crook to arrest you.
Yes, because Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of Cambodia, he has been the longest serving Prime Minister in the world.
Wow. Like, how long is that?
Like, I think it's more than 30 years.
Wow.
It's like, I personally have been in Cambodia, and then during the election times. So I have seen, two times the demonstration that all the youngsters made. And then, even I have talked to the driver there, tuk-tuk driver, their transportation there, and then he said that they were not happy. They were not happy with the government that they have. And then you can see that they are eager to change the government. But at the end, I was thinking that maybe they could succeed, because seeing so much of youngster that was like so eager to change the government and so eager to make a change. It's like Malaysia in a way. But then at the end, it wasn't that way. Like Prime Minister Hun Sen still won the elections.
In fact, Mr. Rinsi, the opposition leader, is undeterred. He said that 2nd of May, they will have a mass demonstration.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would be looking forward to that.
Yes,
and report the news.
Like, we really hope that it will make a change. Even though despite the dictatorship under Han Sen, like, I really hope that they could really do some things and to the country.
Yeah. So let's just see.
Yeah.
So moving to Jakarta now. In Jakarta Globe, Bill Gates just recently visited Jakarta, and he's pledging 40 million to Indonesia Health Fund.
Yeah.
About Bill Gates, he's a well-known philanthropist. In fact, he's one of the most richest person, as well as what I Google about him is he's the 2nd most generous philanthropist in the world after Warren Buffett. In his Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, he has been sort of putting money into key NGOs to fund for key issues or key areas, and one of it is Indonesia right now. And in Indonesia, one of the key problems that they have is diseases, simple diseases that can be combated through vaccines.
Yeah. And then it's like when you do charity, you don't just donate money lah. Like he actually have like a very good view on it. It's like he was doing trials in order to come up with a better vaccines, and then like maybe a cheaper vaccines for the folks in Indonesia. And then he also said that there is another solution, which is a tiered pricing. I kind of like this tiered pricing model, because he says that in this model, the rich pay a higher price for the medicine, so the middle classes pay the median price, and the poor pay nothing. So he came up with this idea. Yeah, like if you want to do charity, it's not just about giving money. Like, I think really this is what the filthy rich businessman should contribute in the society, because you doesn't just give the money, you also give your ideas and such, and then so it will benefit all the citizens in the long-term base. So I really think that what Bill Gates is doing is really good.
Yeah, it is really good. I mean, in fact, the tiered pricing model seems very similar to to progressive tax or progressive payment.
Yeah.
Meaning that you pay according to how much you earn or how much you own.
Yeah.
So this is something that is good that someone like Bill Gates is promoting.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the fact that he's focusing on key issues in the world. And I think diseases is one of the key issues here.
Yeah.
For example, diseases like tuberculosis, polio, HIV/AIDS, malaria, and all that. These are curable disease through simple vaccination. But if it's not if they are not being given vaccine, of course it will become like a huge problem, especially in poorer countries.
Yeah. And then they are actually facing like difficulties when they were doing the trials and such, because he says that a new medicine will be introduced and poorer countries won't receive it for 20 years because it's a new medicine, and then the cost wouldn't be so low, and then it's very hard to introduce it in a poorer country because they wouldn't be able to afford it.
And in fact, 70% of Indonesians do not have access to vaccines. So this is something interesting.
It says that 70% of children in Indonesia have access to vaccines.
I got it wrong. Sorry about that.
So it says that it's actually higher than most countries.
Yeah.
But then Bill Gates said that they should keep on improving lah.
Yeah. So they do have access to vaccine, but then what about the remaining 30%?
Yeah.
These are the hardcore poor children.
I think that's what Bill Gates are trying to do, like making sure that everybody have the accessibility to the vaccines.
Healthcare and medicine and all that.
It's really cool. Kudos to Bill Gates.
And one thing interesting that I like to highlight is, it's not just he himself. Like, I'm not just being a philanthropist for myself.
Yeah.
He's setting up this foundation to get in all other, wealthy people around the world to join in the bandwagon.
Yes.
And in fact, recently he's
he's practicing peer pressure.
Peer pressure among the wealthy people.
I'm donating money. What are you doing there?
And he's he's also trying to get in Chinese wealthy people from China to participate in this philanthropist movement. Yeah. So I think it is a good thing in a way.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
In Manila right now, at Manila Butins, the story is about a journalist being killed, and the palace is ordering towards the hunt down of the killer of this person.
Yeah.
So the Philippine National Police yesterday is being called to swiftly hunt down the killer of the journalist in Cavite. I think when it comes to killings of journalists, we often hear it a lot in the Philippines.
Yes.
It is something that is quite sad, because when it comes to journalists, they are just doing their job in reporting,
telling the truth.
In telling the truth. And their lives are being harmed in the process of that.
Yeah, I think being journalist has never been an easy task lah. Like, we really should pay our respect to all the journalists, like, because they put their life in a risk, which I don't think they should be in a risk when they are just reporting the truth. And then the very sad case is that Garcia, Rubilita Garcia, she's a reporter of Remet and Filipino Times. She was the one who was killed in this incident. She was gunned down by two men right in her home in Baco City. How can you kill someone so openly? I wonder,
Yeah.
in Philippines. And then she was actually the 162 journalists killed since 1986.
Oh.
There are so many
So many.
journalists being killed in Philippines.
Yeah.
It's-
I mean, media killing should have no place in a democratic country.
Yes. And then
Oh my God.
they were like, there's a local media organizations who condemned the killing of Garcia, and also they demanded the government to solve the latest media killing, because there are some groups who claim that the culture of impunity, which means that when you kill someone, there are certain people who was like, they will be free by the law, by the punishment. And then that the culture of impunity, it has remained and even worsened under the Aquino administration. I'm not sure if it's coming from the opposition just to accuse that this government is not doing a good job, but then it is a truth that we couldn't deny, that Garcia is indeed the 162 journalists being killed.
I mean,
it
the
shows
number,
something.
the number counts.
Yeah, the number counts.
Regardless whether it's being accused by the opposition or the government,
Yeah.
we all know that whatever it is, a lot of journalists are being
Has been
killed
killed,
in Philippines.
Yes.
But the same thing is happening in Burma right now. But although it's not the killing of journalists, but it's the curtail of journalists' freedom as well. So in the case of Burma, a broadcast journalist was sentenced to a 1-year prison for trespassing at an education department office and disrupting the duties of civil servant there. I'm not sure the part on disrupting the duties of civil servant, although he was there, but he was just doing, some filming.
Yes.
He wasn't like, shouting out loud or,
Yes.
committing disobedience,
Yes.
public disobedience.
Yeah, what he has done wrong is just reporting news at a government office during office hour. This is what he has done. I think journalists have to face a lot of risk at their job. Like the previous news is that they face like chances of being killed by other people. And here in Myanmar, they are facing risk at being jailed by the government.
Yeah.
They are being oppressed by so many parties,
I mean, the problem is, in a democratic country, press freedom is the most important
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Without press freedom, it's hard for society to exercise democracy.
Yes. And then that there are also some extra information on there are 4 journalists and the chief executive of Rangoon-based Unity Journal. They are now on trial for allegedly violating the Official Secrets Act after reporting on an alleged chemical weapons factory in the country. And then there are also a reporter at 11 Media Group. He was sentenced to 3 months in jail in December for defamation and trespass after writing a story about corruption in the judicial systems. So you can see that they were being jailed because they are reporting the exact truth.
Yeah.
And then the government doesn't want this truth to be showcased to all the citizens. That is why they are being jailed.
I think a lot of countries right now, we have, the government have their own versions of, secret acts. In Malaysia as well, we have
Yes.
the Internal Security Acts and, and there's another act where, whistleblowers are not allowed to,
Yes.
to tell the truth. So in that case, this kind of act, Official Secrets Act or whatever act that is supposedly secret, that the government want to not publish it or reveal it to society, it is not supposed to happen at all. I think transparency is important, especially in government itself.
Yeah. You couldn't be saying that you have the freedom of speech in your country, but you are having this kind of security acts that stops the journalists from reporting the truth.
So, press freedom and journalist safety is definitely one of the core topics here in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And moving forward, so in Thailand, maybe you want to read the news, Kim Tan.
Okay, the title is Prompong files sedition complaint against Sutet with DSI. So Sutet is actually the Pheu Thai's, he was actually the the opposition's one of the opposition's leader, and then it says that Prompong Noparit is actually from Pheu Thai Party, and then he have filed a complaint with Department of Special Investigation accusing protest leader Suthep Tau Sukban of sedition. Suthep have made a statement yesterday saying that he will be taking power. And that he had declared that he will seize the mandate to rule should the Prime Minister be ousted by Constitution Court ruling, and then he will nominate and countersign the appointment of the next Prime Minister. So for Prompong, whatever Suthep said that it has constituted an act of sedition. So they will assign a team of investigator to check Suthep's speeches and also actions before taking legal action against him. I think this is another agenda, political agenda to actually remove the opposition leaders.
Yeah. It seems very ambitious.
yeah.
to take over the whole constitution.
But however, I guess that a lot of political leaders, they said things that when their emotions is there, they just say things whatever they thought of. Like to make people support them and such, like thinking that he really can do so.
So when it comes to Thailand, they are also facing intense rivalry between different political factions. Yeah, I'm not sure how this would end, but when it comes to Thailand, I think the people eventually they want to settle issues that are more pertinent, like issues on economy.
Yes.
Recently, I read in Thailand that Thailand, in terms of the most unequal society in Southeast Asia, Thailand ranks number 1.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, political factionism aside, what is important in Thai what is important that Thai politicians should focus on is to reform its economy so that it is well distributed among all its different societies. It's a very vast country anyway.
Yeah, and then that but I guess it's related whether or not the economic and the politicals the issues, because when you vote for a corrupted leader, they makes your economy go down. So I guess that's why they were so focused on these political things. But then, in a way, I guess maybe it's another issue where do you have a political leader that doesn't think of themselves? Like, do you have that in Thailand? That is why they keep on having this kind of riots.
Or should we say, do we have here in Southeast Asia?
Yeah.
I think the problem with a lot of political leadership in Southeast Asia is the focus is always on the ends justify the means, meaning it's all about attaining power.
Yes.
So attaining power is definitely important in terms of, securing position in politics. But at the same time, the long-term aim is about reforming its country's structure and policies, and definitely to make a more equal society economically and also in terms of other socio-economic issues in tackling them. It's still a long way. I admire certain countries' political conversation where the focus is more on the policy rather than on I'm going to rival you, and I'm going to ensure that I stay in power for the rest of my life.
And bashing the opposition, saying that you have done this wrong, you have done that wrong. It doesn't really help the situations.
So, when it comes to Southeast Asian politics, I think it's a long way to go. The conversation should definitely shift to a more constructive conversation, I would say.
Yes, exactly. So,
in Bangkok as well, but this time it's not about them, it's about us, Malaysia. So in Bangkok Post, it was reported that Malaysia is poaching foreign film shoots in Thailand.
Yes, and then the Thailand status as the ASEAN leading movie shooting location, they said that it is under threats as Malaysia ramps up special tax holidays and other incentive packages that we will lure the foreign film crews as well as opening integrated media production studio facilities. Wow, I never heard of it, because it also says that Malaysia is emerging as our strong rival. Apart from impressive rebates and other incentives, the presence of Pinewood Iskandar Malaysia Studios, it will also boost Malaysians' competitiveness. So I never heard of Pinewood Iskandar Malaysia Studios. So it sounds really cool that it says that this Pinewood Iskandar Malaysia Studios, it is intends to be a world-class film and TV studio facilities for Asia Pacific. And then it is an alliance between the Britain's Pinewood Studios Group and also Malaysia government's investment holding arm Khazanah Nasional Sdn Bhd. So
it's interesting to see that we are actually, an emerging,
right?
Sort of, I would say, location for foreign films to come and shoot us.
As a Malaysian citizens, we doesn't really know that this kind of things is happening.
Yeah, I mean, if this is the future that we can envision for Malaysia, why not, right?
Yeah. Because we actually have a lot of places which is beautiful and then which is like suitable for shootings. Like we have a heritage buildings and such beautiful heritage buildings, and then we also have beautiful forests which can be a very nice natural place for them to shoot nature stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I would say that Malaysia is truly Asia in the sense that we have every sort of location that foreign director or foreign film movie makers would want to come and shoot.
Yes.
Yeah, from nature, from culture and heritage to historical sites.
Yeah, maybe from the aspect of like having like high-rise buildings, we were not there yet, but I hope we will one day.
Yeah, and another key area that I think would make Malaysia attractive is also the fact that, like you said earlier, the special tax holiday and other incentive packages.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kudos to the Malaysian government for envisioning or looking further into this. So this is our news for today.
Okay.
Yeah. And thank you, Tan Kim,
thank you,
for being a very good co-host, very informative. Very opinionated as well.
Thank you very much.
So we see you again for tomorrow's Newsmaker.
Okay, goodbye, ASEAN.